So here is the third installment of ComputerCut Pro. It's the same but a little bit different. And in this video I want to show the more important parts that are different. So I'm going to start with the main application window, and in here everything is exactly the same. Except here, when you select a part of a car that has another part in it, in the old ComputerCut you could just click on it and it would select this part and this part. But when we migrated the patterns over from the old ComputerCut servers to the new ComputerCut servers, we could not get it to maintain the group feature, meaning the group feature where both parts are selected at the same time. So in ComputerCut Pro, if you just click on here and you hit the cut button and it pulls it into the window here, as you can see, the cutout for the mirror is not in there. But it's simple to select both. All you have to do is take your mouse and just click outside the pattern that you want to select, and then just click and drag a box through the parts that you want to select, and then hit cut. And as you can see, it pulls it in. Now we are in the line art view, or the line art fill. So if you have the solid fill on, that piece isn't going to show up in there. So if you want to see it, just go to view and then show fill, and you'll see that the piece is selected in. The only other part that you need to remember is that they are still ungrouped. So if you want to move this pattern around in here and you click on it, see, it's not grouped. So if you want to move it around, we'll undo this and include that. All you need to do is just hit Control A on your keyboard, which is select all, and then go over here to the group button and hit group, and it will group it together so that it acts as one. The other feature that I want to show is when you select a pattern and pull it into the cut window here, there's two ways in which you can view the pattern. In the old ComputerCut, it was only in a line type of view, but in the new ComputerCut, you can see it as a solid fill, or if you want to view it in a line art, you just go to View, Show Fill, and it changes to the line art. The one difference to understand here is if you are in the solid fill, you can click anywhere on the image and move it. If you are in the View feature, if you want to move it, you have to select on the edge of the window and then move it. I know that in the old ComputerCut, it was like the solid view, and you could just click anywhere in here and it would select it. We are working on that, so that will be available in future upgrades. But for right now, you have to click on the edge and then it'll select everything. The other thing is that you, in the old ComputerCut, if you right clicked on it, you could rotate it. In the ComputerCut Pro, if you want to rotate it, you just move over here to these arrows here and just click and hold your mouse down, and you can rotate it that way. Another big difference between the old ComputerCut and the new ComputerCut. If you go and select the patterns and hit cut, it pulls it in here and it works exactly the same way as in the old ComputerCut. All you had to do was just hit cut. Everything was maximized for a 40-inch material. In the cut window, right here is what we call a sign blank. It's this black border right around here. You had the same thing in the old ComputerCut, but you could actually go outside of that area in the old ComputerCut. In ComputerCut Pro, you cannot do it. Everything is done within this blank area. Okay, you cannot go outside of it, but it can get a little bit confusing because right now you can go outside of it and it can kind of distort things a little bit. So for instance, let's say if you go move this down here and you go outside the sign blank here, you're wondering, okay, how do I get back to the original sign blank? Well, there's a quick shortcut on your keyboard. All you have to do is hit your F8 key and it will default right back to the same sign blank. Anytime you go outside of this sign blank, hit the F8 key and it will default you back to the window here. One advantage to the new sign blank is that you cannot go outside this area, so you can't cut off the top of the window. That's one advantage of it. One of the things to get used to, though, is that if you select these patterns, and these are all set up for a 40-inch roll, okay? So if I select these and go in here, they should just pull in exactly the way they are. But if you select these, let's just go ahead and select through them, and then select something down here, it's going to optimize it because it doesn't think that everything is going to fit within that 40-inch sign blank. So if I click on cut, it automatically optimizes them to fit within this sign blank. So it can be a little bit confusing. Also, it's zoomed in here. So how do you zoom out to everything? Well, you can hit the zoom out like this. Or let's say we were zoomed here. I'm just going to zoom in to here like that. And see how the sign blank kind of moves over. So again, I'll just hit F8 and it'll zoom to it. But I can't see the rest of it. So a quick way to see the rest of it is hit Control A, which is select all, and then hit your F7 button, which will zoom out to whatever is selected. So that's a quick way to zoom out to all of the patterns. Now, if you want to select a bunch of patterns but not have it optimized, you can select these like this and hit the cut button and it'll pull them in exactly the way they were arranged, and just minimize this and then go down here and pick the other pattern and hit cut, and it'll pull it into the same window next to the other patterns. So again, if I hit Control A and then hit F7, it zooms out to everything. Now, another way you can select a bunch of patterns and not have it optimize it for the sign blank is to increase the size of the sign blank. We'll go in here and you can select the different widths in here. So we were at a 40-inch, and if I selected all of those patterns and brought them in here, it would optimize them. But if I don't want them optimized, I can click here and go to 72-inch, which zooms it out, and then I'll go to the main application window here, select these, and then select this one down here, and click cut. And it pulls it in without optimizing it. So if you don't want it to optimize in the sign blank, just select a larger roll width and it won't optimize. Okay, before I close down here, I want to go over the shortcuts that I had pointed out because they're extremely important because they'll save you a lot of time and effort. So the first one is if I select this pattern and I hit F7, it will zoom into that pattern. Now, if I want to zoom out, yes, I can click on here and zoom out, but if I want to get to the default window, all I do is hit the F8 and it will zoom out to the default window. If I want to select a number of patterns, I hit Control A on my keyboard, and then again, if I want to zoom into them, I can hit F7 and it will zoom into those. And again, if it zooms in and it's outside of the blank like this, and you get this dead area out here, just hit F8 and it will automatically zoom into the original default blank size. So anytime it gets kind of distorted, just hit the F8 and it will zoom out.